not in corners, on the streets. So if it is a fertility test, must a fertility festival, must a foreigner or someone who is crisscrossing and is a woman in your community be molested, be harassed? Must a someone who doesn't know about it, who stepped out, be harassed and molested by a group of young men in their prime, wasting away? And you want a society that thrives? Any culture, any archaic culture that does not help development or helps the moving forward of the people is not a culture. Culture is the way of life. Yes, we know. But if the way of life is not making people move forward, then the way of life has to be changed. Very sad what happened in Delta. Very sad. Everybody has come to condemn it. It's not the condemnation I need. It's the fact that the perpetrators must be made to face the law. The community leaders are saying, "Oh, it's a fertility festival where women come, we have something on there. They're looking for child." What I saw was not giving the vibe of a fertility festival.
It's not at all.
They are saying it is applicable to a quarter in Delta, in Ozoro Delta. What I saw was not applicable to any quarter. We are seeing the fact that instead of protecting the girl child and the woman, they are being molested in broad daylight. The confidence for me. And as I always said, we are not proactive, we're always reactive. Now it's going to be damage control here and there. But the culture that does not serve the people, to me, is not a culture.
At all.
Because it's not a way of life. There was a community that culture was killing of twins until it was stopped. Who brought the idea to kill twins? I don't want to say it was a madman. But there are some things in culture that we need to sit down and look at and ask ourselves the question: who brought this idea? What brought about this idea? We should be curious enough to ask so that we can break some norms and ensure there's a safer society for women and girls, and even for men themselves. A very, very sad one. And I can only pray for the ladies that were harassed in public, that they find solace and they find the right support to help them through this phase. I saw the clips and I felt ashamed.
In fact, the fear will catch me, Emmanuel. The fear. Hey, God.
I felt really, really ashamed. That is this what women stand for in the society? But see, when a society fails to develop and to ensure that there is development of its citizens, this is what it turns into. Jobless people up and down. That's why they say an idle mind is the devil's workshop. If you had a work, if you had gone for your daily bread and you are not loitering the streets, will you be after a lady, or will you be running after a lady?
Emmanuel, I saw a video that, young men, men said we're going from street to street, chanting, we're looking for a woman, I don't want to use the exact words they use. I say, when did you degenerate? Before we're hearing it, in corners, and now it's like it's facing us. The picture I had in my head? It's like going after a person, maybe one woman that is not a God. That's the picture I just wanted in my head. Honestly.
No. They call it culture. That's why I said it's damage control that they are trying to do now. Damage control. Because to these young men, they see the culture as something that the community is denying. The community is calling it fertility test. The young men, they have a different perspective of it. And it is the failure if they are saying it's a fertility festival, then it is the failure of the older generation, older men, to pass it to the younger ones who has taken it in another light. But again, pardon me if I'm wrong, because children learn by imitation. These people cannot just turn a fertility festival up and down and turn into another way if they had not seen it being done before.
That's a point.
So when I said damage control, I'm thinking about this thing holistically, and I'm looking at it like, no, if this festival had been done before, these men will have seen what was done during this festival. Tales of this festival will have been told. And when tales are told, we live by it to ensure that we also tell our own tales to those who are coming behind us. A very wrong way to do things. Condemnation has come, but perpetrators must be brought to book.
Yeah. All right, this is your Women Radio WFM 91.7. And of course, it's 9 minutes after 8 right here on Women Radio. Please feel free to dial the numbers 07000 917 917 or 09155 917 917. Let's get together this morning. Feel free to send in WhatsApp messages, text messages to 070 317 56537 or 08155 917 917. My name is Rose, and this is the Daily News Review on the Full Breakfast right here on Women Radio. All right, Imana, one thing that caught my attention is when this thing was taken to the king, of the Ozoro community, and the thing that he said was like he said, "Oh, how come I've been for the past 20 years and I don't know anything like this?" I'm like, huh? Like, King, are you serious? How did you get here? How can you say you don't know anything about this? Or you don't know that this is what happened for the past 20 years? Because if I give you a time frame for this, like happening in the community, okay, let's say 10 to 15 years, but you have spent like 20 years there. So it must have happened.
Well, if the king is saying doesn't know, you just have to laugh. Because that means you are not in charge of your community.
Exactly.
And if you were to be a state governor, that is a grant for you to be removed.
Because now it has now gathered international, what do you call it? It has gotten, what's what I'm looking for? There's a lot of attention. It has now gathered international attention. It has now gathered a lot of, national attention. It's trending for the wrong reasons. So they're coming back to you. If this has not gained some kind of attention, I'm not sure things will really go in the first place.
See, let me say this first before I proceed. It's happened in Ozoro, Delta State, but don't forget that 2023 also there were some people who brought out Oro during election. Learned people. So, and I keep saying it, we are bringing up harmful culture, harmful part of culture to drive a point home, which is going to be risky for us going forward. How will I put it? If the king is saying that he's not aware, then what is he doing in the community? That's just my simple answer to the king. How can you say you are not aware of what is happening in your community? How can you say you don't know what is happening in your community? The safety of women is important, and that is why you are a traditional ruler, to protect men, women, and girls. And if you cannot do that, that's a failure on your part.
Yep.
So I told you, I said, see, everything they will be trying now is just pure PR. Damage control. So let's watch at it go. But I believe that since the organizers have been arrested, we are going to get to the bottom of this, except we don't want to.
Except we don't want to. I like that part. Except we don't want to. All right, let's pick up some messages before we head on to the next headline. Still stay with us because we'll still be talking about this at 9 after the news at 9. Okay, so this is coming from additional Wasi from Ikorodu, and it says money to in the studio on fuel increase. I think Mr. President should intervene by giving Dangote refinery crude oil so the refinery can give Nigeria's cheaper fuel price. If not, the little gain this government has made will be reversed by inflation rates. And on insecurity, 8 people kidnapped in Kwara State Church is unfortunate. I hope the federal government will do the needful by restructuring this country so that each region can face their insecurity by organizing state police to protect the life of their citizens and their property. Because from all indication, young people are willing to join state or regional police than to join central police. Most, especially people from southern parts of Nigeria, because people have no confidence in central police. Hope federal government would do state or regional police now before it's too late. This coming from additional Wasu from Ikorodu. All right, Olusoga Jayod from Odona Ikorodu said politicians are uniting and reaching agreements within themselves, while poor citizens are fighting and creating further divisions among themselves. Igbo versus Yoruba versus Hausa, Christian versus Muslim, Redeem versus Jehovah Witness. When it's time, we'll all have sense. For now, let's keep suffering. APC and ADC are birds of the same feathers. Thank you very much for your message, Olushoga Ajayi. So heading on to the one from Mrs. Oboli. Good morning, Lady Rose and Mr. Emmanuel. On President Tinubu's visit, the song that is currently playing in my head is "Emancipate Yourself from Mental Slavery," and the poem coming off at the top of my head right now is "I've been to London to see the King." For the entourage of sycophants and praise singers that went along with him, do you know the bragging rights they now have that they have taken pictures with our colonial masters and reenacted the Kunta Kinte effect? Riding on horses and carriages and taking aid by its effects like aid to candy pop and falling in line as if they were school children. You can then imagine the exhilarating effect it can have on those who consider themselves privileged to have gone for this trip. Please, Mr. Emmanuel, is it imperative that Mr. Ribadu goes on this trip? Just asking for a friend, though. On Ozoro Festival, all that's been done now in the public eye is simply damage control. I don't believe the carnage and flimsy excuses we are getting from that community right now. It's a complete mess, an anomaly that has to be nipped in the bud and totally eradicated. Delta State trended for the wrong reasons, and it's a complete national embarrassment. Head should start rolling as a matter of fact. Thank you very much, Mrs. Obali, for your message this morning. Let's pick this call. Let's see who. Oh, I was about to pick that call. All right, do you want to call us back? You can dial the number 07000 or 09155 Please feel free to send us WhatsApp messages on 07031756537 or 08155 All right, let's head on and look at something else right here. Let's see. I wanted us to, okay, I think it was, the one of the messages that we got, and this one was from additional Wasu from Ikorodu, talking about the insecurity and the state police, saying that this is going to, but my question is the state police going to help as much as we're thinking is going to do when it comes to the insecurity we're facing? Because that's just my own question. How equipped are we going to make the state police? Hello, good morning. Hi, good morning. Yes, good morning.
Yeah.
Good morning.
Well, happy birthday. When you are coming back, your cake.
That's fine.
Mr. Manuel, God bless you. I like how you balance things up. But now I can see, disagree to agree. Sometimes the way we see things cannot be the same. And when we come over, you should not say somebody is like this and that. In fact, you are there justice to almost everything. All you are saying, you took my mind. On this culture, everything, I don't even I did not see it, but I've been happening. And even sometimes when you don't have money, if you are paid, you don't tell your people. That one of them just announce who, and you mean should not come out. Some of these things happening, government are not doing anything. Sometimes we talk about this Nigeria, my brother, you don't know what to do. What is happening in government? I love how you said about the brother this thing. With all that is happening, we see government that is essentially to the suffering of the masses. Is there anything? Is there nothing they can do to cushion the effect of this? So if 2,000 naira, we do not see the suffering. If the government in Nigeria, all of them might effect on. We are not supposed to do all this. They are questioning because they know what deposited here. And most of the people to do that are coming. And this is that they want us to come together. Another day, John was happening in the Nigeria not transform because no country have what Nigeria have. But because of our wickedness, we don't know what something used to say we are carbon copy. It is true. We don't have the fear of God. No matter what is in this world, you have gone this one. You need this one day. If you go and get away here, can we get away from God? What country love ourselves and love our friends and ability to move forward? That I just let them get there. You see what happens. God bless you. God bless you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you so much, Evangelist Dixon, for calling. Yeah, Nigeria will be great again if all of us just, hold our hands and do what we're supposed to do. So back to the state police and, the insecurity. And of course, one of the headlines that we picked this morning was about, state governors submitting proposal to the National Assembly, after, to review the state policing and all of that, and saying that, oh, this is a good thing coming from the president. He has the people in mind and blah, blah. But we know that all of these things, 2027 is just around the corner. Who knows support, go know what he go get. Because that's just what it's looking like at the moment with all of the cross-carpeting that is going on. But that aside, state police in itself, Emmanuel, is this going to really do what we want it to do? Because I mean, if we have our army personnel who are in the bush, every day fighting these people, and it doesn't seem to be going down, and a lot of them, are complaining, oh, they are not even well, they're not well taken care of. Some of the arms and ammunitions they have, the insurgents even have probably better ones that they do, and all of this coming up. So how are we going to make this work? How is the state police supposed to do better than what we already have? Or are we looking at a case of maybe trial and error? Maybe we just try and see whether this one, or maybe we just do this one so that everybody go see, say we don't do something, make we shall make people quiet.
Number one thing is that state police is a key component of federalism. And Nigeria is a federal state. But Nigeria has not truly practiced federalism. We've just been practicing our own type of federal system of government. So it's the fact that in federalism, power is decentralized. But in our own system, power is centralized. Because everybody must be in Abuja. Abuja is where the cake is shared. So when you look at it, states ought to manage their own security, which is a good thing. But in our own case, I see it as a bit of bad thing because of the current crop of leaders that we have. So unless the framework will include provisions that would allow state governors not to have total control of the state police. But if all those things are not there, there are concerns that powers could be misused by governors against political opponents or people that criticize them, that speak against their initiative. If you look at that, there are previous experiences in the 1960s in Nigeria about that. So what I'm looking at is the fact that state policing is good. It helps us manage state security better. Because you don't need to go to Abuja to get things done. Things will get done within the state as soon and as fast as possible. But the danger to it is misuse of power. And until I see the framework, I go through the framework, I'm able to look at the kind of framework that has been proposed for the establishment of state police. I don't have confidence with this current group of leaders that we have, that we need to give them power to hold the police. They don't even have power to hold the police. We see how they use power.
Yeah.
So now imagine you're an opponent and I'm controlling state police. And the answer to me, how do you want to campaign? How do you want to do things? So why I'm skeptical about this is the current crop of leaders that we have who are more like practicing fascism, not federalism. State police is good. It's a true component of a federal system of government. And we've been talking about decentralizing power to ensure that Nigeria practices true federalism. But the current crop of leaders we have, can we give them absolute power when it comes to state police? It is good for the system.
Yeah.
But if the people that will execute it or hold it well are not people that are well trained, are not people, I don't want to use the fear of God because we use that a lot, are not people that are well trained and are not people that understand the basic concept of power, that power is transient, we are going to be in big soup and big problem. And we might resort from our fascism system that we practice under federalism to totalitarianism or authoritarian system. That's just my basic submission on state police. Let's see the framework first.
Okay. All right. So hopefully, this gets to achieve the aim. Achieve the purpose of which it was, brought up in the first place. Because that's just what we are looking forward to see that we have a sane society. Imagine what happened in Kwara, and a lot of other states that are not okay at all because of the insecurity. All right, so this is what we're wrapping up this morning on the program Daily News Review on the Full Breakfast. A very big thank you to our analyst for today, Emmanuel Olunade. Thank you very much. Do want to have a great day and a great week ahead. Hopefully, we get to meet up on Monday by God's grace.
Thank you for having me, Rose.
All right. So for you out there listening to us, I hope that this today and this week will be a great one for you. And as we keep talking about Nigerian issues, make sure that you yourself, you're not part of the problem. Just make sure that you're listening to me right now, you're not part of Nigeria's problem. And then you can sit down and boldly say that, yes, Nigeria will get better and we'll get better. Okay. All right. Thank you to all the messages we received this morning, and to Evangelist Dixon that called in, and to each and every one of you who tuned in to start up your day with us. Do want to stay with us. Coming up at 9 is the news at 9, and of course at 9:05 it's Halend with the ladies, and of course my humble self. My name is Rose Yusuf Kaiser. Do want to keep your dial locked right here on Women Radio WFM 91.7. Good morning.